Happy Sunday, March 3rd, and I'm here with the Tarot Snapshot. The Tarot Snapshot is a 3-card reading, and if you stumbled across this video, it is meant for you. Before I shuffle the cards, before I get into those 3 cards that I'm about to pull, I've got a message for you. And I listen to the messages that I'm supposed to receive and I'm supposed to share. So I want to tell you a story. I have started to share little morning messages, about 1.5 minutes long each day. Just record them in a group and send them out every morning, just in hopes to give people a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of guidance, a little bit of insight. The Tarot Snapshot is a longer version of that. I upload these videos to 3 different places. I put them on the Facebook, Instagram, I put them on the TikTok, I put them on the YouTube, just to give people an opportunity to find them in different places. But they're the same for each of those platforms. I had somebody come to my TikTok channel the other day, and even though they subscribed to my page and they got on a video that I did and they were really snarky. They were really passive aggressive. This format that has kind of been given to me, the card that represents us, the card that vexes and perplexes, the card that heals and reveals. One of their comments was like, well, I think every tarot reader on TikTok reads in this format. And I was like, okay. And the way that I shuffle my cards, I don't shuffle them like this. I shuffle them like this. I always have. I'm going to shuffle 5 times to get the cards to where they need to be. Yes. And this person was like, I find it hilarious when people shuffle their tarot cards like playing cards. I couldn't imagine slapping my cards up like that. You know what I did? I just blocked them. I don't have to talk to them. I don't have to acknowledge them. I don't need them in my space. But I certainly don't need their negative feedback. I don't need their passive aggressive feedback in any way. The reason that I bring this up is because I didn't feel bad about it at all. We do not have to be the doormat to other people's complicated mental processes. We do not. And in fact, having access to us is a privilege. If anybody in my life, virtually, digitally, physically, comes at me and mistreats me, disrespects me, I'm not there to engage with them. I am going to cut them out of my life as soon as possible. On a digital platform is easy. That's easy. Physical, it's easy. The reason why I would do this, and the reason that I'm going to encourage you to do the same, is, let me see here. I wrote a book on my gram, Son of a Sea Cook. She was the only grandparent that I got a chance to know and love. I want her to rest in peace. How can our loved ones rest in peace if they're watching us and we're not in peace? I am in constant inventory of all the things that would cause me to suffer, and I move away from them in the way that I'd want any other person to move away from them. I wouldn't want somebody like my son or my husband or anybody to interact or take mistreatment from anybody, and I certainly don't have to. The reason that I prioritize that is because by prioritizing my peace, I'm prioritizing my grandmother's peace and spirit. I'm also prioritizing my husband's peace, because when his husband suffers, he does. When my husband suffers, I suffer. That is the nature of love. That's the responsibility of love. I don't want you to ever feel bad about prioritizing your peace or cutting people out of your life, especially if they're ridiculous, passive aggressive, or even just plain aggressive. Cut them out. With that being said, I shuffled the cards. Like playing cards, 5 times I cut the deck, and the card that represents us this week is this. Ace of Cups. I love that. All right. So this is a gift. We can see the hand of God coming out. And this really reinforces what I was just talking about. I don't have to withstand the abuse of other people to prove anything to anybody. I am going to focus on loving myself. And as I do, I'm giving love and peace to those that love me. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about anybody in your life that suffers, willingly, knowingly, or not. When somebody that you love suffers, doesn't that cause you to suffer? Think about when you prioritize your own peace and you reduce your suffering, how that will cause your loved ones to not suffer. That's what the Ace of Cups is about today. This is that gift of love. There's some new beginnings here. We can see the Holy Spirit coming down into that cup. This is just overflowing with love. This is that gift of love. So I'm going to encourage you today to give the gift of love to your loved ones by reducing your suffering and being okay with cutting ridiculous people out of your life. That's their story. That's their life. And while I can have compassion for those people who are miserable, I don't have to withstand their abuse. Neither do you. The card that vexes and perplexes us today. Okay. Interestingly. So the Six of Wands is success and victory and triumph and all of that. We can see this person carrying on. This really leans into this. This leans into this message. Because when we read with the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, what this is, we look at everything that Pamela Coleman-Smith would have woven into her images. I'm going to put this card right up here. Might be a little blurry. But there are people celebrating this person who's just come back from war. There's people that aren't. There's going to always be somebody snarky. So we don't dim our light because other people are unimpressed or intimidated by us. We just continue to shine brightly. This card also does have a level to me of PTSD. This is actually the PTSD card for me personally, because we can see this person, they've come back from a war, they've come back from a battle. Whatever war or battle that you've been in, it's going to leave a scar. It's going to leave a scar. That PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, that's not just for military veterans or people that have seen armed combat. That is for people who have been abused. That is for people who have just walked through life and been taught by culture and advertising that they're fat or gross. That's an abuse. That's a trauma. You know, getting raised in a world that says, maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. That's traumatic. And we're constantly being bombarded with stuff that would reduce us. When we succeed, when we've made our way through a battle, there's always going to be a scar. And that can be the thing that vexes and perplexes us. The scarring of the battle and the fact that any triumph that we've created in our life, there's always going to be somebody that is just intimidated by it. One of the big issues that I see when it comes to personal development is that, you know, take two people that are in a relationship. One person is really focusing on their spiritual, mental, emotional, physical health. Their partner's not. Well, this person who is becomes a mirror to this person who isn't. So this person's going to be intimidated and upset and maybe pissed off. But it's just a reflection. So that person over here becomes a mirror to this person over here. You, in your own path, in your own way of finding peace and emulating love, you're going to become a mirror to the people that can't do that. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means that people are going to be pissed off, intimidated, upset. Oh, well, if they come at you, you cut them out. You don't have to withstand them. You don't have to bear the weight of their ridicule or their abuse. You don't. Please don't. The card that heals and reveals for us, strength. I love it. I love it. What a beautiful message. Strength is this idea that we have to be gentle with ourselves. Gentleness is the purest strength. I oftentimes equate the relationship of being alive, soul and body, like a horse and a rider. This also shows this. We can see the higher spiritual self here. We can see the physical, more animalistic self. Gentleness is the greatest strength, yes. But I want you to think about how you will never, ever, ever hate yourself to the peace you seek. Ever. You'll never hate yourself or beat yourself up to the development or the evolution that you're seeking. You can only love yourself forward. You can only love yourself forward. Now, this lion can get beat up and angry because of the stuff that they went through. The only solution that we can give ourselves is love. So if you had an abused animal in your home, you wouldn't beat it up more to make it feel better. You would want to heal it, nurture it, care for it. And I'm going to suggest that you do that. remember, no matter what happens or what people say about you or to you, the only way that you'll ever find peace is to offer yourself love.